Can you take us through just the call for the last play and your perspective on the dunk?
No timeouts. Just wanted him to catch it. Was hoping he'd catch it at the logo, not outside the three-point line. Obviously had a really tough shot against Zubats. So the desired catch was not where we wanted him to catch it. To our guys' credit, in the NBA, it's really true. You talk about this all season long in situational basketball. When the shot goes up, there's no reason not to crash everybody. So it was good to see our guys do that. Obviously, you could say it's a lucky play, but that's a big athletic man, and he met the ball early. I couldn't tell if it was good or not. I was preparing for overtime. So this was a game where I was really proud of us for three quarters. They have a lot to be proud of in the fourth quarter. They were incredible in that quarter with their defense and the way they picked up. And, it's one of those things where that's going to be on NBA TV someday, and I'm glad we won the game. I'm glad it'll be on Nugget Day and not Clipper Day. So hell of a win, 2-2 going home.
David, you spoke about Jokic trying to find trying to find a balance and being more aggressive, and maybe going back to the film and looking at it. Obviously, he was pretty impressive today. What did you see there? What was the difference in his performance and his scoring performance?
Yeah, I thought he was more aggressive to shoot the ball. I did think our spacing was better, which allows him to get to space and score. And not in the fourth quarter, when they junked it up, but throughout the game. And he did a great job of finding soft spots in their defense. We did a much better job in this game in the first three quarters of slowing down and getting organized. And it showed, early in the game, much more of a half-court offensive team, not just racing the ball up and down. And if you can do that, I think Nikola thrives in that. Like I said, in the regular season, we were a race it up and down the court kind of team. I saw a much more under-control basketball team those first three quarters, which got us that lead. And we have to be able to continue, that in the fourth if we're going to win two more games in the series. So, I really mean that. Like, organized basketball allows guys to play they can take a deep breath, they can see the spacing, they can make the right basketball play. So really proud of the guys, and obviously Nikola was the three-time MVP we all know.
Coach, is there any chance that last shot was a pass?
No.
I mean, because it is not that easy to catch the ball in midair. I mean, usually a guy like that can time it.
Right.
Aaron Gordon can time a rebound.
No, I think
it almost felt like a lob the way he caught it.
Yeah, and the guys on the bench, because we had no timeouts left, everyone said it in the huddle, make sure you just get a shot up. When you get a shot up, it gives everybody an opportunity. And like I said, would rather have him have a much deeper catch. But we got the ball in his hands. You can't stop the game then. He gets a shot at the rim. And obviously Aaron made an enormous play.
David, are you able to almost take a sigh of relief now that the series is tied at 2-2 and it's a best of three now?
No. What I was excited about is things that we talked about the last, 36 hours. I felt like, all the themes that we had said we got to be better at. We were much more physical defensively at the point, with Harden and Kawhi. Like I said, I thought we slowed down offensively and controlled the pace of the game. And then to their credit, like I said, I thought we were the better team for three quarters, obviously, and I give them credit. Their fourth quarter, the intensity, the energy they had was extremely impressive, and we have to learn from that. Obviously, easier to learn after a win, but we'll watch that film, and we're going to break that thing down, win, lose, whatever. It's Game 5, and each one of these games, like I said, is its own thing. It's its own chapter in the book, so learn from what we have to learn from, but also take the positives away from things that we really struggled in Game 3 with, and that the guys came out and said, we're going to change that for Game 4 to give us a chance to win a really high-level playoff game. So proud of the guys, in that area.
You gave the Clippers a lot of credit for that fourth quarter. They do pick up their defense intensity, but they're down 20, right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you guys also maybe offensively took your foot off the gas a little bit, maybe even defensively try not to foul? How would you describe just off the top of your head?
I agree with that. I thought we lost our aggressiveness offensively, and I also thought, sometimes when you see whatever the defense is, whether it's, a zone, it's a matchup zone, it's a box and one, whatever it is, sometimes you just got to run your stuff and let it come to you. And I thought we were staring at it, trying to figure it out. And I think, that's something we can work on and talk about. We haven't had issues with zones throughout the season. So it's nice to be able to look back in it after a win, and improve on it. But yeah, I agree with that. Our aggressiveness. And I thought defensively, look, I ran the guys. And I knew, keeping the 4 or the 5 starters to start the fourth, I was taking a chance, and Jamal was the only guy not out there. So we'll learn from that too. Look back at the rotation, who we're comfortable with to start that quarter, to give us those first 3 minutes. So maybe there's more than one fresh body coming in, to win a game like that. So, like I said, much to learn from, but really excited, having the win.
Coach, talking point for you yesterday and Thursday night. Looking at film, more physicality, bring the fight to the Clippers, bring the fight.
Yeah.
Today, you guys did that, sometimes literally. What were, some of the things that went into that, and, what were some of the things that prepared to that, and just the resilience that you guys showed?
Yeah, I think when you lose a game like we did in Game 3, you don't just lose the game on the scoreboard, but you feel like you got punked mentally. That's not a good feeling. And when you have another chance, that's why the NBA playoffs are so amazing, is there's the next chance until somebody ultimately wins the series. We had to respond. And I love the fight from our guys, standing up for each other. We have to be smart in those situations, obviously, but that is the playoffs. And I felt like they played, that way in Game 3, and we did not. And today it was completely different. I saw something in the eyes of our players. You saw the physicality early in the game, the way we picked up full, challenging them. We have to challenge them. You can't just let them walk the ball down the floor like they're in a pickup game because they're too talented. And so Game 5 is going to be the same thing, and it'll be the same thing from them. What's the next level you can take it? How mentally tough can you be while still, pushing that physicality? And I said it before the series, physicality first, IQ next. You have to engage early in the game. If you don't, you're telling the officials, you're telling the opponent that you didn't come to play. And we certainly came to play tonight.
Coach, congratulations on the win. Gordon was a hero tonight, but what's your message to those who say he should have been ejected in the scuffle that happened earlier?
Then a lot of people should have been ejected. There was a lot of people in that scuffle. You can define whatever you want to define with open hand, all that stuff, but I saw a lot of people starting that and ending it. So I don't think Aaron has a reputation of being that person. Obviously, in those situations, you have to be intelligent, but these are two teams trying to do something really special, trying to move on. And, I thought they handled it the right way. I didn't think there was anything extracurricular after the fact that you could say was dangerous. And I thought both teams were just going at it, trying to win a game. And I didn't see anything after the fact, after the, whatever you want to call it. Everybody seemed like they were cool, let's go play. So we both know what this is. There's a ton of respect on both sides for the players. These guys have been playing each other for a long time, two veteran teams. So I thought it was handled correctly.
David, we spoke with you all week, David, about Michael Porter's status, if he'll play, how well he can play. Plays tonight, hit some big shots. What was that conversation like tonight, and what did you think of his performance?
Yeah, it's just a gradual conversation in the last 36 hours with the medical staff and Michael and where he's at and the treatment he's getting. And I'm going to say this again for the 5th time. Michael's one of the toughest guys I've ever coached. The injuries he's been through, what he plays with nightly, and then you add this to it. And how about some of the shots he made tonight? Not only the shots he made, but if you watch the tape, every shot he makes, even when he makes it, he's grimacing. It hurts to get the ball above his head. And you can say, oh, it's the playoffs, blah, blah, blah. These injuries that Michael's gone through, they're legit. And he's tough. And he's playing for his teammates. He's playing because he knows this is one of the opportunities in his life. He gets to do something with a team that's really special. So, there's a reason why we hung a banner, man. Like, Michael was a part of that. And what he did tonight, all the shots he made late in the clock, it kept us ahead. Just really proud of Michael.
Hey, Coach. Aaron is the type of guy who does a lot of grunt work, who's worked really hard to be such an important player on this team. What's it like just seeing him have a moment like that?
For me, it's special beyond the Nuggets. I was with Aaron in Orlando and watching him grow up and just mature as a man. And what he's been through this past year, seeing him, what he was in Orlando and working on his skill set, and to come to a team like ours and say, you know what, I'll take a step back. I'll be a very high-level role player. And I can go on and on. He initiates offense. He guards some of the best players in the NBA. You can post him. He can go one-on-one. You can ISO him against smaller guys. You can put him on smaller, offensive players. And on top of all that, Aaron doesn't care if it's 12, 8, and 4 that night as long as we win. And some nights it's 22, 12, and 6. If we lose, he doesn't care. He wants to win. And there's certain people in our league that really I would define as championship pieces. I think we say that too much. He is one of those people. He is the definition of that, and he always has been since he got to us. Thank you, Coach. Thanks, guys.